Physiological, structural and behavioural adaptations. Convergent and divergent evolution. What do these mean? I don't know. Let's find out.
There are two prominent types of evolution found in nature. These are divergent and convergent evolutions. For divergent, one species branches off and develops different traits, whereas in convergent evolutions, two different species develop the same traits, making them similar in certain ways. An obvious example can be found in many different creatures. In order to move at high speeds, a creature must be reasonably streamlined, so to attract less wind resistance. This is present in both sea animals, such as seals, and land animals, such as a cheetah. This would be an example of a convergent evolution, as they quite clearly didn't come from the same ancestor. They have each separately evolved that way. A very well-known example of divergent evolution is the connection between apes and humans. It has been proven scientifically that we share almost all of our DNA with apes, and that explains some of our physical features, such as how we share generally the same body shape. But just because we come from the same ancestor, it doesn't mean that we share everything with apes. They haven't developed intellectually to the level of humans. Likewise, we don't have the exact same physical form as them. We don't have tails, and we don't spend all our time in trees. Our actions are actually vastly different. Aside from sleeping, that we can do. Traits, such as only sleeping when surrounded by other beings in your herd, is an example of a behavioural adaptation. Creatures in nature have developed this trait due to predators attacking them while they sleep. Humans haven't adapted to this, as we have no real reason to, due to artificial boundaries from our predators in the form of houses. Despite initially seeming similar, there are some very prominent differences between physiological and structural adaptation. Physiological is more to do with the inside of an animal, while structural deals with the external features. Many different kinds of lizards, such as the reticulate Gila monster, have adapted structurally to become the same colour as its native landscape. This acts as a defence mechanism, so it can hide from its predators. An example of a physiological adaptation is prominent in sea stars. In a particular variety known as the biscuit star, they have changed the way they eat food over thousands of years. They flip their stomachs out, completely covering any prey that can attempt to fight back.
So that brings us to the end of Science in 3 minutes. I hope you've learned a lot. I know I sure as hell have. We've covered behavioural, structural and physiological adaptation. We've covered convergent and divergent evolutions. We've done a lot in 3 minutes. I'm proud of that. So yeah, I'll see you next time when I talk about more science in 3 minutes that I know nothing about. Bye.